Okay, you've seen the title, How to Lose Fat Fast. You've probably clicked on a few of these videos before. Welcome. I want to quickly explain just who I am very fast so you know why you can trust me. Online fitness coach. I work with sedentary guys, very busy guys. A lot of my clients are obese. A lot of my clients have had type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, other metabolic issues, and they are able to lose fat fast. I won't just flash a bunch of people on. You can go to my Instagram, you can join my free school group. I will help you do it there. I don't need your money for that. I don't need your money for information. I am going to give you it for free. If you take this information and you don't lose fat, it's a behavioral thing, and that's what I work with. That's what I do. I help people take action with the plan and make sure that we adjust the plan to your specific needs. But if you want to know how to lose fat fast, I'll tell you. So the first thing you need to do is improve your metabolism. Your metabolism is the rate at which you burn calories. That's a nice, easy way to look at it. There are two ways to do this. There is the long-term pursuit, which you must be working on, and there is the short-term pursuit, which you must also work on. The long-term pursuit is build muscle. Now, you're probably thinking it's quite hard to build muscle as you're losing fat. It is if you go about it in a conventional manner. If you try to use barbell exercises, you try to get really strong at the big three, the squats, the deadlift, the bench press, these movements are not going to progress as you lose fat. It doesn't really make sense. As mass comes off your body quickly, why would you get stronger? These movements do not reward fat loss. We want to pick movements which reward fat loss. Are your chin-ups going to get stronger or weaker as you lose fat? They're going to get stronger. All you have to do is do them, and they will get stronger. And that is what you should be focusing on, getting stronger every single session. Because as you lose fat, you are going to burn less calories as you exercise. But if you're getting stronger with bodyweight movements, you're going to replace that by adding weight to them. And so you're going to burn the same amount of calories as you would previously, possibly even more, with your training. You're going to do the same thing with your exercise. Are you walking a couple of K per day? Get up to 5K, 10K. When that becomes easy, add a little weight to it. The incremental replacement of what you are used to carrying, which is a lot of body fat, is the key to this entire endeavor from the exercise side of things. We want to build muscle to improve your metabolism. We want to improve your output to improve your metabolism. You can do those two things consciously and with discipline. Now, to build muscle, you only need to train 3 days a week, and that's another video. Please have a look at my other stuff to go in depth on why you will only be training 3 days a week. Now, the third aspect, no, I'm not German, shout out to Inglourious Bastards if you've ever seen it, but the third aspect is going to be nutrition. Now, you know you need to be in a calorie deficit. If you've ever been tricked into believing that you can lose fat without a calorie deficit, I'm sorry, it's not true. You've been lied to. It's probably by one of the other videos that you'll see titled How to Lose Fat Fast. They probably have a stethoscope on, pretending that they're doctors when they're actually chiropractors. It's a common practice. However, you will lose fat in a calorie deficit. We don't want to lose muscle, so that's why we resistance train. The protein that you require is not that high. If you go into the school group, you'll see that you want about 0.8 grams per pound of goal body weight. It's really not that much, because protein alone does not inspire muscle growth or maintaining muscle. You have to train to do that. You have to send a signal to the body. A lot of your muscle growth is going to be it's going to come from a signal based process. So signaling to the body, hey, we need to keep this muscle mass. Do not use gluconeogenesis to turn it to energy. That's just a fancy way of saying your body looking at muscle mass and going, turn that into carbs, let's use it. That's what your body does with fat when you're in a deficit. So this is why muscle is so important, because if your body isn't turning it into energy, what's it doing? It's maintaining it. What does that require? Feeding. If we feed it, that's calories. So your calorie maintenance ends up being higher than quite an easy deficit. You lose a lot of fat very quickly. So walk more. Resistance training. With exercises that you get stronger at, trust me, if you do not get stronger, you will not build muscle. You will lose it. That is a fact. And finally, the nutrition. All of this stuff is individual. You're going to start at a certain point, which is a little bit different to other people, and so it needs a little bit of a different approach. But generally, you are going to need to follow a diet which is going to be high in nutrients. Nobody doesn't need vitamin D. Everyone needs vitamin D. You need all of the vitamins and all of the minerals. Now, obviously, things like magnesium, zinc, iron, you hear people talking about them a lot, and you probably think, well, these are more important than manganese. It's not that. It's not that they're more important, it's that they're harder to get in a bioavailable source, which means that we want to place a little bit more emphasis on getting them. No one accidentally gets no manganese. It's very easy to get a lot of the vitamins and minerals. What we want to do is make sure that we're getting a lot of them in the optimal amount and from an absorbable form. So a good example of this is there is a lot of iron in spinach per calorie. It does not absorb very well. 2 to 20% of it will absorb, and that 20% will only absorb if you eat it with vitamin C and you make sure that you're not consuming it in a high zinc meal. Because they compete for absorption. So like a lot of the factors from certain foods trying to get the vitamins and minerals don't actually count. Whereas if you get your iron from steak, you're going to absorb a lot more of it. So the goal is to try and consume a diet which allows us to get all our vitamins and minerals, and so your body isn't constantly begging you to go and eat more food. So if you walk more, if you resistance train and progress, and you get into a calorie deficit where you've got enough protein and you've got all your vitamins and minerals, how much fat can you stand to lose? Well, all I can tell you is what my clients lose. Most of them lose between 3 and 7 pounds in the first week. They replicate that in the second week and the third week. By the fourth week, they'll probably end up losing between 2 and 3 pounds, and if they're disciplined, they maintain that. Now, the funny thing is, regardless of body weight, let me say that again, regardless of body weight, you can go and watch my interviews with the they're not all there, but there's a bunch of them that are there, and they tell you the exact same thing. The reason that they lose so much fat is because they're not feeling hungry all the time. They're not feeling low energy. Their energy improves. So you need a diet which gets you all the vitamins and minerals your body needs, and it replaces the need to constantly overeat. Now, again, if you know this stuff, if you know how to do it, and you're not doing it, this is a behavioural problem. And I can help you with that with coaching. But if you want free information, join the school group and I go more in detail on this. I hope this helps. Losing fat is not some gimmick that you can do by cutting out a macronutrient or drinking lemon juice at the right time because it's good for your gut. Your gut plays a role, don't get me wrong, but it's got nothing to do with lemon juice. They're all red herrings with people trying to sell you stuff. And the only thing I want to sell you is coaching if you can't do the free advice, because if you do the free advice, you can post it in my group and tell me how great the advice was. And so it's a win-win for me, and it's a win for you because you lose a bunch of fat. So let's do this. I hope to see you in there. I hope that this video was engaging in some degree, and if it was, please comment any questions.